part was me. All right, here we go. Preparing to live stream the meeting. Woohoo! On my YouTube channel. As soon as it does its thing, I'll be right back. I was hoping you guys can see me. I'm off. Can't see you anymore, but that's okay. Okay, let me turn off the volume here and bring me back. There we go. We got it. All right. Hopefully more will show up, but if not, it's okay. Y'all can watch this on the reruns on my YouTube channel, Central Valley Hypnotherapy. Central Valley Hypnotherapy YouTube channel. That's it. Okay, so what are we talking about today? Today I'm going to talk about how come change is so uncomfortable, and about one of my favorite books about change. We'll go through that later. I was kind of inspired just not too long ago about this, and why not? So yeah, change is definitely a thing, and why is it so uncomfortable? So we'll get to that here in a bit. But first, we have a but first. Oh, I don't think I have a picture. I got a new puppy this past week. Let's see if I can throw her picture up here. Let's see. Wait for my phone to do its thing. I think I put it on my Facebook page. You can go to my facebook.com/ILAH, ILAH, be like boy. Let's go to my camera. See, it gives you a little picture of my little one. Look at her. Oh, isn't she so cute? So she and my little Abby girl, they are, I know this is a picture of, I don't want to show you that one. Here's a picture of them together. You know, they are actually playing, even though they look like they're walking away from each other, and all we see is their asses. Big, huge tennis ball. They like their tennis ball. And of course, there's my little Abby. So she was another rescue, and I couldn't resist. Well, actually, my main squeeze, Michael, he heard cat. So in order to keep me from getting a cat, I told him that Abby needs a partner, because there are times when we're not home and we get home and she has torn the place up. So she needed a playmate, someone to cohort in crime, maybe to blame on her tearing up stuff. I don't know. But dogs are. You see these videos, you wonder what. Anyway, excuse me. So I could think in a moment of reservation or intervention, it's hey, let's find this rescue. She was found on the railroad tracks, little town called Exeter, California. It's about 20 minutes east of me, and this family found her and they couldn't keep her, so we got her. So we named her Daisy. So we have Abby and Daisy. Maybe I was hoping they would be here today, but it didn't work out that way, but that's okay. I'll have to bring them in another day. So let's get started on my butt first. I've wasted a lot of time with all of this. This is Most Things Hypnosis. Hi, I'm ILAH Brock, your host. Today is August 4th, 2022. Oh, I got to get all that stuff in there, don't I? Now let's get back to my butt first. This is something I saw today, not today, this past week. Maybe it was a week. I don't know. I saw something and I took a picture of it and I thought I'd read it here, right here. Excuse me for touching my nose. Narcissists plus empaths plus the law of attraction. The narcissist attracts an empath because they expect someone to take care of them, to put them on a pedestal and treat their wants plus their needs like they are their top priority, while feeling no need for reciprocity, give or take. The empath attracts a narcissist because they believe that they need to take care of people, to heal or fix them, and usually on some level don't believe they're deserving of love, affection. So they give and they give with the hope of receiving something until they are ultimately depleted. Don't let this happen to you. Yeah, narcissism isn't always, it's an ugly thing to be. They don't know any better. Well, they kind of do, but it's just they can't help themselves. I guess you can put that. Here's another little quip. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Don't do it. No. So don't hang on to anger. How do I get rid of it, you ask? Call me. Let's talk about it, and I'll be happy to help. How do you get rid of anger? We'll work on it. Hypnotherapy. And if you'd rather be in person and you're not in my area, that's okay. I'll give you the name and number of somebody in the LA area. And LA is a huge area. There's a whole LA basin. There's the city of LA. The San Fernando Valley is part of LA, West LA, there's a bunch of areas of LA. And I know or am acquainted with many hypnotherapists that have had the same training as me. So you would be in good hands moving that along. Okay, so don't hesitate to ask. I have no problem giving out a referral. Also, if you would like a hypnotherapist who doubles as a Santa, as a second life or a second personality. No, I'm just kidding. I know one too. Yeah, he's all about Christmas. It's crazy. He wants to put his tree up now. It's August. Can you believe that? He wants to put it. Yeah, I just saw the post today. He wants to put up his tree. It's August. I think he keeps.
Actually, the tree has been up for about 4 years. I have not taken it.
You have a plan on taking it down?
Not until it falls over and I got to go out and buy a new one.
Do you like undecorate it and redecorate it?
No, it's just a pre-lit tree and I just plug it in every once in a while. I don't plug it in every night, but every now and then I'm kind of in the mood and plug it in.
So even Santa doesn't get in the mood for Christmas every single day.
Oh, I'm in the mood for it every day. I just don't like the tree every day until Christmas. From about mid-November on, it's lit up every night.
Every night. You got it. Yeah. I think I put mine up usually the week before Christmas. I don't decorate anymore. I put up a tree. I'll put up 1 or 2 decors. That's my Christmas anymore. Oh, well, I guess I got Christmased out, but that's okay. My kids can do it now. Oh, that's something else, something exciting. I forgot to tell everybody. I'm a grandmother. I became a grandmother last week. Well, 4 days ago, 4 days ago. Yes, my daughter who lives in Southeast Asia had a baby boy. His name is Ryan. He was 7.5 pounds. I don't know how long he was. Hefty little thing. But please keep them in your prayers. There's some complications going on, and they whisked him away as soon as he was born, and she hasn't seen him yet. So they're hoping that I hear a reuniting. I get updates about every 12 hours. They're about 14 hours ahead of California time. So yes, but I am a grandma. His name is Ryan. He's a cutie. And do I have a picture of baby Ryan? Oh, of course. Yeah, look at him. I know he's just like a few hours old here. Yeah, he had he had a couple issues when he was born, but he's doing fine now. Doing fine. Well, he's definitely starting to do fine. Let's see. I actually had something I was going to read, and then of course grandmothering got in the way. Okay, Neil Strauss said this. Perhaps the biggest mistake I made in the past was that I believed love was about finding the right person. In reality, love is about becoming a grandmother. Oh, wait a minute. Love is about becoming the right person. Don't look for the person you want to spend your life with. Become the person you want become the person you want to spend your life with. And then you'll follow along. So it's possible. Anyway, okay, on with the show. That was enough tomfoolery going around here. I wanted to talk a little bit about change and discomfort of change. Change can be very uncomfortable, but why is it so uncomfortable? And what do I mean change? Anything we change. So everything we do is a behavior, and every behavior has a strategy, and every strategy is a known to the subconscious mind, and everything that the subconscious mind knows brings emotional pleasure. And the subconscious mind does not care if it's good for you or bad for you, right or wrong, fact or fantasy. It doesn't matter. It's absolute truth no matter what. We have a thing called the conscious mind. And the conscious mind is where we decide, reason, analyze, use that ever-failing willpower and our logic to create a change. That only happens about 12% of the time for less than 1% of the population. So what the F? So what about change? So we go into, we want to make a positive change from where we are to where we want to go. And the change can be very uncomfortable. It might even feel scary going into a new positive state. A friend of mine, a colleague and friend, his name's Dan Gordon. He's a business coach, the business coach's coach, if you will. He has a post on his Facebook page, and that's kind of where I got that, the feeling of feeling scared when something's new in your life. It's okay to feel a little scared when something new's going on. So let's take something simplistic. Let's say you don't make your bed every day, but now you want to, and you're going to make an effort to start making your bed every day. And I think that is a positive thing. It's a positive change, because there had been 30 some years when I never made my bed. And then I did a little hypnotherapy and hypnosis. And then it was like, for me not to make it. Now, there are some caveats, if I'm the last one out of bed, I make it. If I'm the first one out of bed, I don't. But anyway, but I always make it before I go to bed most of the time. Anyway, that's another story. But just think about making your bed. You don't make it, but you want to make it. Now you're starting to make a new change. Okay. It's just one small little benign behavior. But first of all, as some Navy SEALs said back in 2014, we can start our day with accomplishment. Great. So start your day accomplishing something good. Make your bed. Doesn't have to be great, or you can be like I was, just the frillies and the pillows and the whole bit, and just make it all pretty, but make your bed. So that's an accomplishment, and that's something positive, and it's a change. You're going to be thinking about that on and off throughout the day. Now, opposite, contrast, take the person who can't even barely wake up and open their eyes, and their bed's made and it's beautiful every single day, and they've been doing this for decades, and they can't imagine not making their bed. If their bed isn't made, they're going to feel very funny, very off. It's almost like a negative feeling they're feeling because their bed isn't made. But isn't it interesting, the contrast? That the one that never makes their bed could care less, but now that they do care, that's what they're thinking about, this positive accomplishment. Do you think the person who always makes their bed is thinking, I've accomplished not making my bed? I guess it's a place you could go, but typically people don't, as a rule. But kind of like, look at that contrast. Well, obviously then making the bed is a positive change. So make your bed, or hire somebody to, but make your bed. And it's an uncomfortable thing, because then you got to do it every day. It's not that it's bad. Now you are adding an effort, some work into your life for, a minute. I used to have a California King sleigh bed with the footboard and the headboard were like humongous, ginormous sleigh bed. And it would take an effort for me to make this bed. And then whenever I changed the sheets, usually 2 or 3 times a month, it was just like even more of it. It was a workout, So making your bed can be a workout, can be part of your workout. Maybe you make your workout, put ankle weights and wrist weights on while you do it, make it a fun thing. Turn on some of your best music and get it done first thing in the morning, get cracking. And some of you people who are introverts, and in my world, we call them emotionals, please, not morning people. Oh, don't do this. They can't stand it. Oh, get out of your shell and just deal with it, right? I wake up thinking, and I wake up happy every day. I don't care if you wake me up in the middle of the night. So change can be a difficult thing. One of the best stories, metaphors I've ever read about change is, who moved my cheese? And basically, it would be all so easy if you had a map to the maze. If the same old routines worked, and if they just stop moving the cheese, but keep things changing. What? Who moved my cheese? Merrill Lynch International wrote this little review. I'm giving this book to colleagues and friends, the author, Spencer Johnson, storytelling abilities makes a rare book that can be read and understood quickly by anybody about succeeding in these changing times. And boy, do we have some changing times that have happened. And this book is decades old. I don't know, 30, 40 years old. You can find it online. I think you can even find it online on a PDF. But the inside cover says, an amazing, and it's about a maze, amazing way to deal with change in your work and in your own personal life. Who Moved My Cheese is a simple parable that reveals profound truths about change. It is an amusing and enlightening story for 4 characters who live in a maze and they're looking for cheese to nourish them and to make them happy. Cheese is the metaphor for change. 2 are mice named Snip and Scurry. I can never remember their names, but I remember the other 2 little people named Him and Haw. They're the little people. And then they have the little mice, Snip and Scurry, and the little people called Him and Haw. Cheese is a metaphor. Oh, see, I just said that. Is a metaphor for what you want to have in life, whether it's a good job, a loving relationship, money, possession, health, or spiritual peace of mind. The maze is where you look for what you want. The organization you work in, or the family or community you live in, is also the maze. In this story, the characters are faced with unexpected change. Eventually, one of them deals with it successfully and writes that what he has learned from his experience on the maze, on the walls of the maze as he's going through it, looking for his cheese. When you come to see the handwriting on the wall, you can discover, that's the little cliche, you can discover for yourself how to deal with change so that you can enjoy less stress and more success, however you define it, in your work and in your life. Written for all ages, and it really is written for all ages. The story takes less than an hour to read, and it's unique insight and can last a lifetime. And it's also on Audible too, so you can listen to it on Audible. But one of the cool things, it's a real easy read, and talking about seeing the writing on the wall. So throughout the book, there's these little sayings or whatever. This one, I know it might be backwards in here. Is it safer to search in the maze than remain in a cheeseless situation? Some people just stay in it and they expect the change to happen to them instead of them looking for the change. Or another piece of cheese, seeing the writing on the wall. Old beliefs do not lead you to new cheese. When you see that you can find and enjoy new cheese, you change. You change your course, of course. Noticing small changes early helps you to adapt to the bigger changes that are to come. So there's just a lot of these little quips throughout the story. So move with the cheese and enjoy it. And then there's like a sequel to it later, but I highly recommend the Who Moved My Cheese. If you've never read it or listened to it, do so. It's a profound metaphor on change. So also speaking of why change can be so painful, it can actually be downright painful. Think of it this way: when you're going through a change, a desirable, conscientious, I'm trying to change my behavior from this to that. And it's just so uncomfortable because you're struggling with the subconscious mind. Subconscious mind's doing everything it can to keep you at comfort zone. Come back, don't change. Come on, let's just stay with it. And you're like, oh, what do? You're struggling. It's like that tug of war. I highly suggest you stay in the tug of war. Stay in it and stay with the change. But it hurts. Yeah, I know. But that's your body healing. Finally healing, because look, truth is truth. Truth is truth no matter what. You will always have truth. Truth is what it is. That's an absolute. So you can't get away from truth. Truth is the truth. The truth that I'm here before you. And it's the absolute truth. Truth is, it's not just a relative thing. Now, some people believe certain ways, and that may not necessarily be actual truth, but I'm here to tell you truth is truth. And that's just, it's an absolute. Truth is a truth. So just go with it. And if it's and everyone's going to struggle with a change they're trying to make. People like to keep things simple so they don't have to go through change. It just hurts so much in their gut or their heart or their throat, some body ache, maybe their back, whatever. They're just, it's just ugly change. I know it's kind of sucks, doesn't it? But you know what? If you just allow it to process, allow those emotions, those old emotions to finally process themselves out, you were left with the positive reinforcements that you have already desired. How do you do that? Remember, emotions are energy in motion. So they move. And that you can take an emotion from 30 years ago or 50 years ago, and you can move it along your own timeline to today. So if there's an emotion, you just remembered something so good, so happy, so amazing. This was so good. And you just hold that emotion and then imagining yourself going through your whole timeline from when that emotion you're taking in, move it forward to today. You can actually live throughout those times that you were struggling. That emotion will fit in and it'll actually create new pathways, new neural pathways, new fun things. One of the essential requirements for true spiritual growth and deep personal transformation is coming to peace with pain, the pain of change. I know it sucks and I don't like it either, but I've gotten myself now to a point where I don't live in that kind of mindset anymore. It's a fairly positive one. The minute anything that isn't where I'm experiencing now isn't this, it's something else, I'm on it right now. There's an imposter coming in. I don't want any part of it. People who work with money, like bank tellers, they study what fake money, what real money is. They hold it, they feel it. They're just so in tune to what this is the real deal, that anything that isn't this must be counterfeit. So anything that isn't what my positive appreciation and calm and kindness and whatever it is, happiness, that if it isn't this, I'm in it. It's got to be what this is. If it's not this, I know there's an imposter out there. I don't want any part of it. So I will check myself, and it usually can take about a minute for me to like, okay, what's going on? Have I not had anything to eat, or maybe not enough water? Or where was my mind going? What did I listen to? What was triggering? Sometimes I can't even find out. I might just be watching a movie and all of a sudden I get this idea of anxiety. What the hell is that coming from? And it might be a comedy, but I'll still get that sense of anxiety. So a couple things. One, I'm going to okay, I don't need this. It needs to go away because I'm noticing it right now. But people who live in anxiety, the opposite. So when calm and kindness and appreciation live where anxiety's lived, it's a new experience. You got to live it so much. You fall in love with it and it gets down into your cells, into your actual cells, to the point where, like I said, when anything that's not that tries to sneak its way in, it's going to be found out immediately. And so I've made a little self-hypnotic suggestion for myself. My water, and I drink water all the time. This is my water mug. I am billing you for this conversation, is what it says. But my water is my Xanax, if you will. So I don't like to take anything that would, I take melatonin. I don't think anything's wrong with melatonin. The older you get, the less melatonin you have, but water. So the minute I start to feel a little bit of anxiety, I just take a sip of water. And I just know, okay, there's my Xanax. I'm fine now. And I'm just telling myself, I'm fine now, whatever that was, it can go away. Talking to yourself. So what about this change? Ooh, what do I do with it? What do I do with it? It's so painful. So just take a minute and just stare at it. Just imagining yourself with it in your hand, just looking at that part of you that just wants to make this change. And just talk to it, nurture it. What does it need to know? What does it need to learn? What does it need to experience to help you get to the change that you want, to get to this side of it? This is where I'm at and I don't like it, but this is where I want to be. So you can ask it, what is its highest purpose? Thank you, Joe Tanella. What is its highest purpose? It's like, I don't like this, but I really want this. So you keep asking, what's the highest purpose? Continually, what's the highest purpose? What is its highest purpose? Again and again, until you can get a resolute answer that's just there. You know what, the highest purpose, it could be to experience peace and love and whatever. That's why, I need to learn something. And maybe that side of you that's struggling, that wants to make that change, it's just doing that's trying to tell you, hey, you need to learn something from this and you haven't yet. So we're going to let you keep experiencing it until you learn. So, and just ask it what it needs and just be kind to yourself while you're asking, while it's going through you. So becoming familiar with this pain, I call this also struggle, is part of your growth. It's okay. And it's also part of becoming emotionally mature. Now, I'm about as immature as anyone's ever going to be. And if I ever get any more mature than I am right now, it'd be a freaking miracle. But emotional maturity is a huge thing for me. Just to be a grown up, just to know that I can adult happily and be goofy and, do my best not to care what other people think. And also in this litigious society, if I do something real goofy, are they going to call the PET, the pet team on me and have me wrapped up in a little white coat? So I got to be careful, but I can be pretty goofy. Even though you may not actually like the feeling of inner disturbance, you must be able to sit quietly inside and face them. Face them. It could be more than one constant struggle. If you want to see where they come from, where is this coming from? Where's all this pain coming from? Where's this emotional distraught coming from? And like I just said, just sit with it, ask it, talk to it, and don't answer it for yourself. There's that voice that's talking to you, kind of like starts the conversation. The other voice is the one that kind of comes in and does the negative self-talk. Sit back with it. Let it speak to you. And if it's good, accept it. If it's not, I don't like the way that is. How can I help it change? Help it change. Help learn what it is, the resources that you know that you need to make. Let's see. You must be able to sit quietly with inside and face them if you want to see where they come from. I already read that. Once you see, I'll share the book I'm reading this from here in a minute. Once you can face your disturbances, you will realize that there is a layer of pain seated deep in the core of the heart. This pain is so uncomfortable, so challenging, and so destructive, but not really, but yes, to the individual self, in that it doesn't want to change. I'll just go back to the way I used to be. That your entire life is spent avoiding that pain, that emotional discomfort. Your entire personality is built upon ways of being, thinking, acting, believing, and believing that were developed to avoid this pain. So it's an internal representation. Here's pain. I don't like it. I'm just going to stop it. The minute it starts to rear its ugly head, it's saying, thank you. Finally, we can process and get out of here. So what do? No, pierce you back down. And it's like, oh, darn it. I was so close. Now we got to wait until they, go through the experience of it and get in. Well, maybe one of these days, fellas, we'll get out of this little hole and we'll get to experience, the universe outside of this person's, trapped in their body. Think of it as little aliens trapped in your body. Since avoiding pain prohibits you from exploring the part of you being that is beyond that layer, the real growth takes place when you finally decide to deal with the pain. Because the pain is at the core of the heart, it radiates out of the affects everything you do. But this pain is not the physical pain that you receive as messages from your body. Physical pain is only there when something is physiologically wrong. Inner pain is always there, underneath, hidden by the layers of our thoughts and our emotions. We feel it most often when our hearts go into turmoil, Like when the world does not meet our expectations, this is an inner psychological pain. The world doesn't meet my expectations. The world's never going to meet my expectations. So I have to create my own. It's the law of expectation. It goes right along with the law of attraction, law of correspondence. There's 12 universal laws. They're all there. The psyche is built upon the avoiding this pain. And as a result, it has fear of pain as its foundation. Look, if you learned fear, you can unlearn. There's only two things they're born with, two fears, the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. And as it was explained to me, and I've read it in a book, and I'll be happy to share that book. Oh, I don't have it with me. But here's the thing. Think about a baby who's sleeping and you smack your hands and you wake them up, right? So they're going to cry, but you can take the same baby and throw them in the pool and they're perfectly fine. They haven't learned how to be afraid of the water. Put that baby in a garden of spiders and they'll just play with them because they're fun. They don't know to be afraid of spiders. They're taught to be afraid of spiders. We're taught to be afraid of pain. I have my daughter's going to kill me for saying this, but I'm going to tell the story anyway. She was about 9 and somewhere along the way, she got the idea. She had scraped her knee and I was going to try to put some hydrogen peroxide on it. And she was just saying, no, no, no. And she was so belligerent about, no, don't put the hydrogen peroxide. She was so afraid that it was going to hurt. And I kept trying to convince her that it's cold and it fizzes, but it doesn't hurt. So much so that she actually fell on the ground, passed out, had a little seizure because she was so afraid of that pain. And ever since then, it's called syncope. You can look it up. I think it's CYNCOPE or YNCOPE. This fear of pain or fear of anything. Anyway, but it was a thing for her, and it's kind of like she learned to be afraid of pain. Never been able to fix that since, and she has a different idea what happened, but that's when it happened. But that was like her first thing. To understand this foundation and the pain, this fear of pain is the foundation, and I'm getting short on time here, is what caused the psyche to begin to be that way. And to understand this, notice that if the feeling of rejection is a major problem for you, you will fear the experiences that cause rejection. Relationships. Oh my gosh, that's like the biggest part of rejection there is, right? Excuse me, I'm drinking coffee. Fear, the fear that will become a part of your psyche, even though the actual events causing the rejection are infrequent, you will have to deal with the fear of rejection all the time. That is how we create a pain that is always there. So I have a friend who has experienced so much rejection over the last 10 years. What a trooper, though. Finally, over this past year, they have finally understood when this happens, I don't give a shit anymore. I'm just going to move on, because it didn't change anything having that fear, having that rejection. And it's like they are so into it, trying to avoid the rejection. Okay, forget that. Don't be a jerk. Just get on with life and just don't worry about the rejection. But how do you do that? Well, partly you got to find your X factor. That's one of the things I get to do. I get to help you find that X factor. For me, it was just learning some things about my past that I brought into my now. And I just, what they don't need. My past is this, that. It's my past. I can't do anything about it, and it's done. But I can also make whatever effort towards my future that I want to make and make it even better. So even though the actual events causing the rejection are infrequent, you will have to deal with the fear of rejection all the time. And that's how we create a pain that's always there. If you're doing something to avoid pain, then pain is running your life. Think about it. If you're doing something to avoid discomfort, emotional discomfort, that means that emotional discomfort is running your life. Now that's profound. Okay. Let's see. All of your thoughts and feelings will be affected by your fears of rejection, etc. And you'll come to see that any behavior pattern based upon the avoidance of pain or rejection or discomfort, emotional discomfort, become a doorway to the discomfort itself. If you are afraid of being rejected by someone and you approach that person with the intention of winning their acceptance, you are skating on thin ice. Oh, my poor little computer here. Because they're not going to accept you. They don't want you in their life. All they have to do is look at you sideways or say the wrong thing, and you feel the pain of rejection again and again. Take the hint. They obviously don't want you in their life, and that's your good vibe right there. They don't want you. Fine. You just dodged a huge bullet. Just ricochet it and just keep going. If someone's really treating you like that, why would you want to be their friend in the first place, or an acquaintance? Why would you want to be around them? So, you're desperate for friendship. Well, then be friendly to those. Look, I'm going to put it out there. I am 58 years old, and I can't tell you, I don't have 5 really good friends, and I'm blessed to have the few that I do. To be this age and to have at least one good friend is a huge thing. And so it's if you can have 2 or 3, it's even better. And I have a lot of friends. Yeah, I do too. I got, I'm pushing 1,300 on my Facebook page, and I don't know 1,000, I don't know 1,200 of them. Oh, wait, but for me, it's business. It's just exposure. But before it wasn't. First, it was like, I used to get offended if I didn't get enough likes on my whatever I posted. Now I don't care. I put it up there. If it gets liked, it gets liked. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But what's creepy is something that gets liked, like from 5 years ago. Somebody who just became my friend, my marketing team, they go in and they friend a lot of different people for me and get that going, and then all of a sudden I've got 500 more people in the next week or so. Okay. Lastly, all they have to do is look at you sideways. I already said that. So the bottom line is that since you approach them in the name of the rejection, you're going to be dancing on the edge of rejection throughout the interaction. One way or another, the feelings you experience will work their way back to the motive behind your action. The avoidance of pain is what your actions are linked to, and you will feel that link in your heart. So don't do it. How do you do that? Well, that's next week. Next week, I'm going to go through and kind of go over. Now, how are we going to get rid of these emotions? But this week, just recognize them and let them make you uncomfortable, and it's going to be fine. It really is. Just email me. My email address is just right. Let's see. It's right there. ILAH at Central Valley Hypnotherapy. Oh, I got an ugly looking nail. I use the inside of my thumb right there. So just email me right there. You see it right there. ILAH at Central Valley Hypnotherapy. And I'll be happy to call you and we can talk about why you feel so discomfortable. Phone calls are free. I'll talk to you for a few minutes and maybe give you some help and see if we can help you identify that, ooh, I don't like this discomfort, this emotional pain or whatever it is you're feeling. I got you. I got you. Seriously, I've been there and I'm there often, but not as often as I used to be. It's a work in progress. So I'm going to say adieu. Please.
Before you do, what was the name of the book you were just reading?
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. I'm sorry. Let me put it in the comments too. The name of the book is The Untethered Soul. Ooh.
I have that.
And yeah, it is like, and this is in chapter 11, Pain, the Price of Freedom, out of this book. It's called The Untethered Soul by Michael and he has it on audio too, and it's very good. So let me just copy and paste this into my YouTube so that my YouTube people, hello YouTube people, that you have, let me just throw something there. That's the name of the book. And then you can contact ILAH at, I'm going to put my phone number in both of these so that everybody has a way to contact me if you want. And that way, when somebody reads this, they can just call me. So 749-4803, 559 area code. There we go. All right, thank you. I almost left without giving the book. Woo-hoo. Yeah, I need to remember to do that. But yeah, this is the book. I actually learned about this book from a TikTok. Some gal, it was a bigger version of it, like a workbook looking thing. But she just went, you got this is book. And she kind of went like that. And I'm like taking screenshots because what she said was so profound. I got to see what that book is. And it took me like, I don't know, 10 minutes to get a screenshot and zoom in and figure out the book. I'm like, oh, that's it. So I have yet to find the passage in the book that inspired me to buy it from that one gal that put it up there. It was like I said, it was just a quick TikTok, but the whole book is just phenomenal, talking to you about the bias that we have with our own subconscious mind and how we are so subjective in ourselves. And how can you make that objective? And it literally is you're stepping out of yourself and you're looking at you and those voices in your head, having a conversation. I'm going to be the objective one looking at me being subjective. And that's kind of where it starts. We'll talk about it. Anyway, you all take care. Have a wonderful, fabulous, awesome, exciting weekend and ahead. And I'm getting my hunting license this weekend. Taking a hunting class. I don't know I'll kill anything, but it's honoring, preferring one to another. And he asked me if I wanted to go dove hunting, and that's a thing out here. Hunters hunt not for sport, it's to help the ecology of a species. So if doves ever became extinct, of course he would never hurt them or hunt them. But yeah, I'm taking my class. Today's hunter, I'm probably going to be using a 12 gauge, but I've shot 12 gauges and they really kill the shoulder. So I'm actually thinking about buying myself a 20 gauge. They're just a little bit less impact, fewer BBs that fly out of it, but I don't care about that. I just want to be able to shoot my gun without killing my shoulder. I'm watching these guys on YouTube, right? You watch them and they've got the little 12 gauge in there and they just pull that trigger like it's on the target. It's like, it's nothing. I'm like, I shoot one bolt and I'm like, whoa, so I'm weak. So anyway, it's just something to have. And I don't know if I'll use it. It's like, my fishing license. I haven't used it, but it doesn't mean I shouldn't have one. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing this weekend, at least, for part of it. I got to study up this book, my little homework assignment about just about ecology and hunting and what is it for, the good parts about it, and safety, and then not hunting things that you shouldn't be hunting, things that belong on the extinct list. There's a reason why, because there are idiots out there that overdid it. So I'm not one of those idiots. Anyway, take care, everybody. I won't see you, but you'll see me next week, Thursday, on another episode of Most Things Hypnosis. And this is ILAH Brock. I'm signing off. Take care, and I will talk to you next week.